Raavan, we could wait for it to rain, then only would start filming.
He just hates to stop shooting. So if it's raining, use the rain. It's too much sun, use the sun. You're in a cloud, doesn't matter, I'll make it part of the film. And that's what makes him special. He'll take any sort of environment or moment and make it so special and magical.
The biggest trick is in how do you find a new way to say something.
That was really scary for me per se because there were a lot of frogs inside the well and I'm really
Snakes
scared
also.
of all of that.
Snakes also.
I just
There was,
only-
we just didn't tell you.
Rain is one of the recurring themes. So, do you know a little bit about his mindset of using rain in his films?
अरे भैया आप घबराओ मत. नाग देवता है पानी में नहीं आएंगे. नाग देवता पानी में आ गए.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming and thank you so much for staying back. We have a lovely panel here of artists who have worked so much with Mr. Mani Ratnam, who will also be joining us later this evening. And it's a pleasure to be here with people who have worked so much, and I'm sure they have lots of stories to tell. I'll start with Mr. Santosh Sivan first, because he's worked exclusively with Mr. Mani Ratnam for so many years now, starting with Dalpati back in 1991, followed by films like Roja, Iruvar, and of course, Raavan also. If I may ask, and of course, he's not only India's most well-known cinematographer. This year, he also won the Pierre Anjani Award at the Cannes Film Festival. And it's an award that is given to some of the biggest cinematographers in the world. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
In very simple words, what is it like to work with Mani Ratnam, and what is it that separates him, and what is it that makes him so very special from a cinematographer's point of view?
Actually, when you work with Mani, it's also an adventure with nature. You know, almost all his films have some element which is always to do with nature. Maybe some films you should get up very early in the morning before dawn, and some films like Raavan, we could wait for it to rain, then only would start filming. I remember when we were shooting one particular sequence, we were engulfed by a rain cloud. Aishwarya was there also. And it was totally dark and we were on top of a hill. The lights went off and it was all dark for quite some time. So you realize how interesting it is to be engulfed in a rain cloud. So almost everything was something very adventurous. So it'll take a long time to go through everyone.
Yeah, but since you mentioned rain, I mean, rain is a recurring theme in a lot of his movies. Do you know, does he deliberately put it there, or does it happen on the spot that you think like, okay, this scene, it might need some rain? Just talk about, you know, certain scenes that are there in his films. Like Rain, we saw in Nayakan yesterday, we saw in Bombay today. Rain is one of the recurring themes. So do you know a little bit about his mindset of using rain in his films?
I think, you know, so not just rain. Sometimes when he finds it difficult to tell something straight away like that, he will always put you into a difficult spot, like shoot in the rains or twilight. Things which are very difficult to, you have to get out of it somehow. And so you tend to shoot. It becomes like a one-day cricket match, you know, you have to finish it like that kind of thing. Yeah. But I think he has a sensibility to see the qualities of rain, because when it starts raining, you can't tell the time of the day. So if you're doing a period film or any film, because of the rain, the pollution in the air is diminished. So it's a very, very interesting time. The quality of light is amazing, actually.
Yes, we'll come back to that and a little bit more about the cinematography part, but we'll come to the actors now. I'll start with Mr. Abhishek here. This was your third collaboration with Mr. Mani Ratnam after Yuva and Guru and this particular film. And I guess no matter at which stage of your career you are, whether you're just upcoming or whether you're already established, there must be something special when you're working with Mr. Mani Ratnam. And again, the same question, what is it that separates him, or what is it that makes him a special director?
Good evening, everyone. Has he come? He's not here yet, right? Okay. Good. So we'll tell the truth. just to answer your rain thing, Santa is very good at making it very poetic. He just hates to stop shooting. So if it's raining, use the rain. It's too much sun, use the sun. You're in a cloud, doesn't matter, I'll make it part of the film. And that's what makes him special. He'll take any sort of environment or moment and make it so special and magical. And I think therein lies his mastery, that he will take whatever's thrown at him and just make it so cinematic. And that is an ability which the greats have, I feel. Cinema is known to, okay, we'll wait for the right moment, get the right light, all of that. It takes a true master, Santa included, to turn that into just magic, no matter what the circumstances. What I love about Mani, and ever since Nikhil told me about this, I was telling them I watched the film over the last 2 days in Tamil and in Hindi. And just to see, even if you see in the climax, in such a intense moment, to bring a light-hearted romantic moment between the two of them for the first time is just done so beautifully, so aesthetically and so simply. And with one bloody tube light he's never let us sit down. I mean, in between shots, he's too fast. You know, as a cinematographer, you want to take your time, and actors love it because you get to chill out and relax. You're cut, going to sit down, ready. Santa's ready with the shot because he's got one kino flow thing and that's it. And I think that's the true genius of them, especially as a team as well, is that they just make magic out of something that you feel, okay, this is going to take some time, but there, it's right there. And I think that's Mani's greatest asset. It can be a very plain, almost on paper, boring scene, and to make it just magical by just making it, as he loves to say, make it real. But by just doing that, I think that's what sets him apart.
You worked on 3 films with him, and all of them were different characters. Would you say that this was the most challenging character that you played of the 3? And I'm putting you in the spot.
Absolutely. Possibly the most challenging film I've ever made. Having seen the film and now, meeting up with all of them again, I was just telling Priyamani at the back, I said, I don't know how we shot this film. It's crazy. And to see what all the whole crew went through to achieve their vision is astounding. We shot it 2008, 2009. I think Mani had his 6th heart attack during the shoot. And I think every time he has a heart attack, the film, is memorable. So he's still not come, na? Huh. So it was crazy. I mean, the conditions. I remember we were shooting in Chalakudi, in Atirapalli Falls. We were there for almost a month, more than a month, and I think we depleted single-handedly. The unit depleted the leech population of Chalakudi, because every night we used to come back and you're having a shower and you'd be picking off leeches, and you didn't even know during the shoot. And this is just on the more pleasant days. To be in, like he was talking about, rain is, no. It was raining, shoot. Then this Charlie came up with some contraption which was like some compact disc swiveling in, what is it called? No, in front of the lens. No, that was, what was it that the water doesn't come on the lens? Rain deflector. So they've come up with some contraption that the rain doesn't fall on the lens, so they'll carry on shooting. But the actors are drenched throughout the day. And then this mist machine he came up with in Malsej Ghat. So it was, sun used to come out, we used to get happy because we get to dry off. But no, Santa, mist machine, it'll be very nice. So now you're drenched to the bone. So I think throughout the shooting, barring when we shot in Orcha, which sadly a lot of it is not in the film, but those are the only times we were actually dry. The rest of it, you're just drenched. And some actors, like Aishwarya was doing the Hindi and the Tamil, so she'd finished the Hindi version in the water, then said, no, you stay there. We'll change the starcast around you and we'll shoot now in Tamil. So, I mean, it was, I don't know how we did it, but it's all the belief that you have in Mani as a leader, and he's down in the trenches with you. He's not somebody who's sitting in his raincoat. He's in the water with you, and it was unbelievable. Has he come? Yeah. No, it's unbelievable.
I mean, even while looking at the film, when we saw it now, you could make out that, every scene you can tell the effort that the cast and crew and everybody has put in. And I'm sure you all shot it in different locations and lots of stories must have happened, which will come back. But Priya, you've worked with filmmakers before that. And this was, of course, in 2010. And you worked with many filmmakers afterwards. You won a national award also after that.
Yes.
Talk us a little bit about your...
Before
Before
actually.
that, sorry, yeah.
Her introduction to us was she's just won a national award, so we all kept quiet on the set. Then when we were all looking at her in reverence, saying, "Okay, we better bring up A game."
No, that's not true. But no, to continue, I didn't shoot. I didn't get any rain. I was only shooting in the sun. So maybe I missed the magical part of the rain. I don't
you
know
got a chance to come
if
out
I
of
can
the
say
well,
magical or not. Sorry.
You got a chance to come out of the well, but drenched.
Yeah, that was really scary for me per se because there were a lot of frogs inside the well, and I'm really
Snakes
scared
also.
of all of that.
Snakes also.
I just
There
saw
was.
only-
We just didn't tell you.
Thank you for that.
On the wall up, there were 2 snakes.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
And I remember this man because I went down. So Mani sir, especially the well scene that you were saying. So the moment everything was done, I came onto the set. I saw the well, and Mani sir and Abhishek, all of them said, "Okay, you're getting on the cot and you're going down on the well." I said, "Excuse me, are you serious?" He said, "Yes, you are going down on the cot." I said, "Okay," and then I actually saw a lot of frogs floating in the water. And the moment I was lower down on the bed, the cot actually, I saw a lot of frogs on the wall as well, and I just yelled. I said, "Sir, there are a lot of frogs." And this man said, "Try kissing one, you might find your Prince Charming." He actually said that, and I was like, "Thank you so much."
She was harnessed to the cot.
Hey, I was not harnessed.
No, you were originally, and then
Yeah,
Mani
then we
said
took it
open her
off,
up because
yes.
they were going to take her underwater, and
Yeah.
now she has to go inside the water,
Yes,
and
and-
she's going to be harnessed. It was
Oh, it was crazy. But yeah, okay. So water,
Yeah.
yes. That way I got drenched in the water that way, but not the rain thing. But working with Mani sir, this was my first film, my first association with Mani sir, and brings back a lot of memories because I remember meeting Mani sir in the office. But before that, I met him on the way to Goa for the film festival, IFFI Film Festival, and then he said he had seen my Tamil film, and he said, "Oh, it's really nice, and wait for a call. I'm going to call you soon." So I was actually anxious to wait for a call from Madras Talkies, and I finally got it. I remember flying down, meeting Mani sir, and he just said, "Look, I'm doing a film. The main star cast has already been, we've already finalized. This is the character I'm looking out for," which was basically in Tamil first. And all of a sudden, he just had an idea. He said, "How good is your Hindi?" I said, "So I can talk Hindi. I mean, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore, so I can manage Hindi." So he said, "Okay, just go upstairs, just talk to my assistant, and I'll join you within 5 minutes." And then I don't know what I spoke to the assistant for 5 minutes. And then finally Mani sir came back and he just said, "How's a Hindi?" So like I said, "It's a lot of grammatical errors, but chalega, hum log manage kar lenge, shoot pe manage kar lenge." So that's how I was cast in the Hindi version as well, and I got to meet all these wonderful people. But Mani sir is a magician. You ask anybody today, they'll say the same thing.
Yes. Speaking of Hindi, Vijay Krishna Acharya here, he wrote the dialogues for this, the Hindi version of this movie.
it's also his birthday.
It's also his birthday, yes. We'll all sing happy birthday at the end.
Very
of
good
the session.
60-year-old, no? Don't you think? Doesn't look a day over 25. No, 60. Victor, don't lie.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about collaborating with Mr. Mani Ratnam to write the Hindi dialogues of it, and how did the collaboration work out in that sense? What instructions he gave you, and how
See,
good is his Hindi to begin with?
Money is Hindi. It won't save his life.
He's still not here, by the way.
I don't think he still can speak.
So, and I think there's Guru was our first association, and I think what it liberated me from two things. Before that, I mean, Abhishek and I had worked as a writer for him, and we, used to be very. I used to be very tight about the fact that you finish a script and not a word should be changed, and you give it, and then it's up to them. In Guru, it was liberating because the climax of Guru is written on the set, and I think the beauty of that, just to add to the Mani sir's sort of magic thing, is it was a long speech. We finished it, and it felt perhaps too simple. And then he said, "Victor, do you think we should? It's a speech. Should we shoot it in 48 frames? Should we do high speed?" And I thought that was a kick-ass idea. But so we stopped shooting. We took Abhishek to a recording studio. We recorded the speech
After you had revived me.
because it was an 8-page scene. And then we did that. And the next day we came back and we did it like a playback song because it's getting played on the Nagra. So just so that it's kind of lip syncing. So for him, for the cameraman, and for everybody else on the set, it became not a speech. It's a film, it's a cinematic exploration of a speech. It brings challenges all around, but I thought that was great. Raavan started with just a discussion about taking off on the idea that is there a love story possible between a captor and the captive, without an easy answer of the Stockholm syndrome. And the more we went into it, we wrote it pretty much in Hindi, and then it got translated in Tamil. So that is how we used to sort of look at it. I think the joy of working with Mani is exactly this, that you have to be up for something which is new, and we tend to finish something, and if there is another idea which makes it better, then nothing is written in stone. Then you should be able to swing with it and change. So I think that's actually the biggest trick is in how do you find a new way to say something. And I think the reason he loves rain is because he's been in Chennai. It doesn't rain there much.
When
He
it does,
loves-
it really rains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we've always been there in May and June, outdoors.
Right.
Atirapalli, we made friends with the snakes, with the trees, the waterfall. We were on first
That was
name basis.
great. This, if you notice, there is a theme. You're not come, na? Huh. He shoots in the same locations in every film. He'll go to Polachi, he'll go to Atirapalli, right?
Madurai, the
The Meenakshi temple, all that. He likes to shoot in this, and they look so different in every. Has he come? No, okay. We can still lie about him. He shoots in the same. So we were driving to Atirapalli, I remember, and Aishwarya and I had shot there before for Rohan's film, Kuch Na Kaho. But this time, we were driving, and the location manager was called Baby. Baby Sir. So, Shad, myself, and Baby Sir was very proudly telling us, "Sir, this is a National Geographic place." So we said, "Great." He said, "Many wonderful documentaries have been made here." We were like, "Wow, beautiful, very nice. Have you seen that documentary on King Cobra?" I said, "Yeah." "Sir, it was shot here, sir." Okay. Reached the set, sitting around, talking. Mani is doing something. Suddenly you see one light man jump because he's gone to pick up a wire, and he picks up a cobra by mistake. There were snakes falling from the trees, right? In the middle of all this, Aishwarya has gone into Florence Nightingale mode, saying, "Where is the anti-venom on set?" Because if somebody gets bitten, because you're picking up snakes and snakes, where is the anti-venom? And the on-set doctor, poor chap, I think he was just out of med school, and she has fired him, saying, "Why is there no anti-venom, this, that?" And Chintu Da was obviously told. Chintu Da is the line producer, who unfortunately also acts in all of Mani's films. He played the photographer in Raavan. Chintu Da, there's no anti-venom, this, that. She's walked off. "I'm going to tell Mani, and somebody's going to get seriously hurt." The doctors come to me and say, "Sir, what anti-venom, sir? If cobra biting you, before you can say, 'I'm bit, you're dead, sir.'" From the back, but he says, "Let's shoot." We're like, "Great, let's go for it." Then we're shooting Thok De Killi, which is a song. I remember we were shooting the Irpingla Martingla scene. Yeah. And I got cut on my shin, and it became septic, and I was out of commission for like a week. I had high fever and all that kind of stuff, and we couldn't leave because we were in the middle of the jungle. So I was recovering, and Mani had to shoot. So one of the first scenes we shot was with Govinda ji and myself when Harya, I think, has been killed. So that's where trying to be in the moment. There's a scene, you know, Harya's body is there and I'm upset and we're putting turmeric on him. And me trying to be an involved actor suddenly instinctively just did that because Bira wipe away the emotion, not knowing that my hand was filled with turmeric. And Mani freaked out. He said, "Oh, superb, this yellow face, this, that. Let's do it again." And that's when the turmeric kicked in my eye. So I'm like, "No, Mani, it's looking nice like this. Let's not, no, one more, this, that." And so anyway, so I'm still 103 fever. Next day we're starting Thok De Killi. The whole set was actually a mandir, which had got washed away because some forest officer had put on opened the doors of the dam, so the whole set, remember? So the whole scene, if you've seen the film of the Vishnu Bhagwan lying down, was actually standing up in a temple. But that, so again, see, Mani's magic, he just uses it. The whole ruins of the temple in Thok De Killi was actually a proper mandir about 1 kilometer upstream. That whole thing had come down and we were doing this whole song and it was rain, water, everybody's feet, we kept getting stabbed by the nails in the set because it was wet and it was terrible. And here we are with 101 fever now trying to get better, but soaked all day. And then Mani came up with the idea, let's put mud on you guys and let's make one eye black. And all this is going on. At the end, he said, let's all jump into the water. We said, great. Mr. Ravi Kishan, who's a rather animated character, was one day sitting there and saw a snake. We were sitting on set and it was on the bank. So say like where you all are sitting. अरे प्रभु देखिए नाग देवता आ गए हैं, नाग देवता प्रणाम प्रणाम. So I don't like snakes, and obviously snakes falling left, right, coming, and lizards coming through the AC ducts, and it was not pleasant. So I've just quietly picked up my chair and moved slightly back, keeping him in front that इनके दर्शन होने दीजिए पहले नाग देवता के. अरे भैया आप घबराओ मत, नाग देवता है पानी में नहीं आएंगे. नाग देवता पानी में आ गए और नाग देवता तैरते हुए रवि किशन जी के बगल में आ गए. Ravi Kishan ji has become atheist overnight and just run from there. अरे ये तो सांप पड़े हुए हैं यहाँ. Now I'm trying to tell him, वो बोल रहे नहीं वो rat snake है. I'm like, National Geographic ने King Cobra का पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट्री यहाँ बनाया था भाई, वो rat snake नहीं है, वो albino King Cobra है. Jump into the water, Mani Singh. Everybody jump into the water. So first in the water goes, I mean, did you all notice Pankaj in the film? Yeah, this is one of his earlier films. So him being NSD, I'm going in the water. He has jumped in, then we've all jumped in. We got to look under the set where there were close to 200 snakes coiled up. I have never seen a man in a sari get out of the water so fast. It was unbelievable. And Santa, and Mani's like, why are you all ruining my shot? I'm like, we're about to get bitten to death. There'll be dead bodies going down river. Where's my shot? My shot? No, let's use it, this, that. So, I mean, this is just one of the stories of what used to happen. But despite all of this, Mani just knows how to make it. You'll never believe any of this. It's just genius. He's gifted.
We'd love to hear some more stories of these
I
type.
can, yeah, 3 movies I can go on for. I have stories from Ponniyin Selvan also. Yeah, you know, if you're on a Mani Ratnam film, there are going to be stories.
Okay, keep a couple of them ready. But before that, I'll come to Mr. Santosh Sivan. You worked with him for almost 3 decades now. Have you seen him evolve as a director, or he's just the same brilliant one that he was there in the 90s? Just talk us about his...
No, he's always been very passionate, and see, what I like about him is that he actually has the ability to take a lot out of the people who work with him, whether it's actors or cinematographers or anything. I remember a story. I was actually teaching tribal children in Arunachal Pradesh. That time, we went deep into the forest and because to bury their dog. So these people suddenly were returning. It was nightfall. They gathered around me and told, "Sir, there are 2 tiger prints." And they had taken their swords out. So I was teaching them. So I asked them, "So what will you see? What will you do if you see a tiger?" So they said, "We'll run and climb a tall tree very fast." No way you can run like that. So I said, "I don't know how to climb a tall tree very fast. What will I do?" Then they said, "No problem, sir. The tiger look at you, you look at the tiger, and you learn everything very fast." That is exactly what happens to Mr. Mani Ratnam. So he looks at you and you start doing it.
I think that's an excellent summary of the way he works. But just on another serious note, I mean, technology has changed considerably since you first started working with him. How has he adapted to technology? Has there been any change in that, or is it just the way he functions?
Actually, what happens is while going for shoot, we travel together. So we'll discuss quite a few things. Before also it used to be there that we used to sit together, all 3 of us, when Raavan was doing music for Roja. So after he has given us some tunes, we would go in the car and see locations and listen to it and decide how we're going to do it, things like that. So he is always very updated, because when we talk, he can talk anything about literature, paintings, anything. So that way, I think it is a very interesting, other than gossip, he's very good with everything else, actually. So we used to actually discuss a lot before every film. A lot of conversations would happen. So I think even he was very much keen to see about the new developments. But then I think he has not let the medium change, like from to digital, in any way impact his way of thinking or anything. I don't think so. Though he has, of course, embraced VFX and all in a very nice way. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that in Ponniyin Selvan, which worked out so very well. Abhishek, but a little bit about Guru and Yuva, about your experience with working with him, and how it changed in Raavan, or was there any change, or was it just the same style of working? It was, of course, just a 3-year difference.
I
between
think
the three
Mani,
films.
I don't know, maybe Santa can speak from a technician's point of view, but for actors, I feel, and I realized this in Yuva, which was our first collaboration together, I think Mani likes to push you into a corner as an actor. And he'll make you work hard. He'll keep pushing you, until something very instinctual comes out. It's literally like, you know, when your back's against the wall, you come out punching. And I think that's what he likes to do. And he'll push you, retake. You're exhausted. You've given it all. Okay, great, fantastic. Now let's try it like this. So, you know, I think he's always searching for that. I think he's not being sadistic about it, but I think he likes to put you in a very uncomfortable space so that something very honest comes out. And so, yeah, like I said, I think I learned that very fast in Yuva, that he'll put you into a corner and he wants to keep pushing you till something very instinctual comes out, which even you don't believe or you might have suppressed. And then obviously in Guru was a totally different graph altogether. But he finds his wonderful ways of throwing his own spin on it. And then obviously from there you move to Raavan, which we just saw. So मैं हिंदी में ही बोलता हूँ, उनको समझ में नहीं आएगा फिर. So yeah, I mean it's wonderful. I think just seeing the film again has brought back so many memories. And I think the greatest testimony to him, and not because he's sitting here, is that when you can go back and even after 10, 15, 20 years sometimes look at your film and the only thing you can do at that point of time is smile at the memories. And I think, you know, we have wonderful memories working with him in front of the camera and off camera. And I think that's the greatest testimony for him as a person.
One thing I would like to ask Mr. Santosh Sivan here is, we see a lot of fluidity in his camera movements here. A lot of the storytelling also happens through, you know, the camera movements, particularly in all the films that we we've seen, or all of his films practically. Talk us a little bit about that as a cinematographer and as a director yourself, of how he uses camera to convey his visual grammar.
Actually, it depends on differently for most films. Like, for example, River, there's a lot of single shot kind of things. So his idea was that this should be like really happened. So it should be like a documentary. You start here and not cut to somewhere else, but pan and show what you saw, like that. So sometimes camera movement is like that. So it's always dictated by a thought behind everything, almost all the time, actually.
Vijay, you would like to add anything to that as a filmmaker yourself and as a writer?
I think the learning or the way money works is pretty instinctual. I don't think that there is there's something which is either bothering him and there's something that he wants to try, but it is in the pursuit of trying to find a new way, and that's what happens, because nobody makes a film alone. There's a collaboration, and like he said, you everybody comes up to their A game quite quickly, largely because many things have not been asked of them. You've not been pushed in that corner. You've not been asked those questions. And then I think everybody realizes that this is actually what I came to make films for, to try and uncover something which is truthful. And then everybody's in, we are all like happy campers, like little kids playing in the mud, because in his film there will be rain and there will be mud. So, so I think it just genuinely becomes a pleasure, and it's hard work. But when you finish, then at the end of the day, I think you go back and you sleep well while you're taking the leeches off. But today we did something which was pretty kick-ass. So that's pretty much it. And there is a visual quality which I don't think he has to strive very hard for. I think it's there. You set up a shot, but now suddenly we are at the top of a hill and there is twilight, and in that magic something has happened. He has given some brief which Abhishek has not understood, but has said yes, because we have about 35 seconds to shoot it and it's done. So that's
don't mess with his light. You never mess with his light. And for the visual grandeur of everything, like he said, he'll take you to the top of a mountain. My light is going. We have 15 seconds. Light is ready. You have to slide down this wall. So I'm like, from where? From there. And he says it very normally, like, ho jayega. And you're like, okay. Then you're in hospital after that, but you got the shot. So you feel like you've done something. You remember we were shooting in Madurai for the Tere Bina song of Guru. And we were shooting all night. And suddenly, it was morning and there was a beautiful sky. And suddenly Mani comes to Ashwarya and says, oh, that music piece, we'll do it in 48 frames. And we have 2 minutes. Okay. And that was it. That's how it happens. And I think, like he said, he pushes you to do stuff that you might not have even perceived. And it makes you realize that, yeah, we're a bit more resilient than we credit ourselves to be. And for that, you have to thank him.
Yes, indeed. Just one more question, Vijay. In the morning, there was a discussion about Mani sir's writing, of how tight his writing is and how he conveys what he has to say through his scenes and visually rather than through dialogues. Does he change a lot from the screenplay on the sets? I know he's listening here, but...
No, we go with a locked script, Mani.
I can see all good boy answers coming up.
No. So that's an internal joke with each of the films. We've said this time it's a locked script, but then it opens, and and what good is a script if you can't unlock it? So I mean, actually, most of Guru is handwritten on a clipboard. So I think it's really liberating rather than writing it in some final draft 12. So yeah, there are changes, and sometimes there are things which make it alive, because it's one thing to write something in the cold light of the day, but when somebody mouths it, if it doesn't sound true, then we are in trouble. So we'd much rather take the thing. And at that point of time, Mani just very casually asked, what can he say? Say, but I've just written about 3.5 pages of dialogue. But what can he say now between this something? So, yeah, there
And
you
make it real. Make it real.
Yeah, and then the actors have to make it real. That's the beauty of it is.
Yeah, and speaking of actors, I mean, tell us a little bit about Mani sir as to how in-depth instructions he gives you as an actor, or he just briefly tells you this is what it is.
No, like Abhishek just said, I mean, I remember the scene after the wedding prep, that song. In the end, I think I see the boy. The boy comes in and, we're talking and things like that. So he says, the first instruction he gave me was, and mind you, the whole song we shot, I mean, it was single take, so we had to rehearse a day before and we went to the locations. The first time I was rehearsing like that, but it that rush is there, that, oh, you're getting to do something exciting and for the first time and things like that. So when the scene came up, Mani sir came to me and he said, okay, so how would you do it? So I had an idea, I had a vision as to how Jamunia would probably, do the scene. But the interesting thing was we shot it in Tamil first. So the first thing he said to me was, I don't want Priya to act. I want to see in Tamil the character is called Vanilla. They said, I want to see how Vanilla would react. So like Abhishek said, he'll push you to that thing to say that probably if Vanilla was alive, how would she react? And make it as real as possible. It should not look dramatic. It should not look that, okay, this person is acting. It should look as real as possible that in real life, if such a situation is thrown to you, how would you react? So that is the clear-cut instruction. So however you could imbibe it and come out of, portray the character. If he likes it, he'll say, I like it, but this portion, let's not do this. Let's try something else. So then you have an idea, okay, so Mani sir's idea was this. So, you try to imbibe all that and come out with the best take you can.
And was it something same for you? Because you did 3 different characters and all of them were very powerful in their own right, especially Raavan and even in Guru. So what were his inputs to you as an actor for, say, Guru, what you played?
Once I get over the PTSD of making all the films, the 2 points, he used to always tell me to be a bit more free. He used to find me a bit holding back, starting with Yuva. Then a lot more in Raavan. He used to say, let it out. So he really freed me in that and gave me the confidence. And like I said, he'll give you the most difficult situation to do, and in the middle of that, his direction will be, make it real. I'm hanging off a 400-foot cliff, falling backwards. I don't know where I'm going. I've got 100 squibs on me. How am I to make that real? But that is what, and first it's a joke, but then you just realize that in order to sell it to the audience, to make it believable, it has to be that. It has to be believable, and believable is real. So a lot of the time I feel in our movies, because we're in such fantastical situations, we tend to give it that grandeur. And that somewhere maybe makes it a bit more of a dream than reality. And the fact that he steeps everything in reality is what makes it so believable. And that's what you learn from it. And I think over the 3 films, the greatest direction, I think, is more than direction, is he's empowered you as actors. Very honestly, I remember we were in Kolkata, and one night I was sitting with Shad and Shiva, and I said, I don't know if I can do this. We were shooting Yuva, and I'd never done a role like that, like Lallan Singh. And we're coming off this whole era of NRI romances and all, and here I was, from Chandoli Basadda and all. I was like, this is an alien world. And you question yourself as an actor, but the thing he instills in you is the confidence that primarily first when he chooses you, if Mr. Mani Ratnam chooses you, he sees something in you that you haven't. And then when you see the film, you're like, okay, I can improve, but all right, So he he instills that confidence in you as an actor, which I think is paramount. And I think that happens across the board with anybody that works with him in front of the camera or behind. You do stuff that, like Santa was saying, you want to innovate, you want to do something new, like Victor was saying. I mean, you see some of the shots. I mean, I make fun of Santa with his macro lens, or what is it called? Suddenly there's this shot of, this big log and then there's a dragonfly. And I'm like, how have you shot this? And, it's such a different perspective to the wilderness, to see the magnitude of it all, So he's always doing something new. So he, I think, perhaps sees in you what you might not be able to see in yourself at that point of time. And then hopefully you can build on that for the, if you get that call again, which is a moment in any actor's life. I mean, when she said that, I'm going to call you, when you wait. I still remember the message I got after Yuva when a couple of months later he said, so are you ready? So I said, for what? He said, for another one. And I was like jumping, It's amazing. And so I think he sees in you what you don't see in yourself. And then you come out and he wants you to then build on that. And then the next time around, be that much more prepared for it. So it's just a blessing for us as actors.
I guess that would be a lovely note to end this part of the conversation. We'd like to thank Mr. Santosh Sivan, Priyamani, Vijay Krishna Acharya, and of course, Mr. Abhishek Bachchan.